Hey friends, what's up? In this video, I'm going to tell you how to catch pike using live bait. Shoo! Another one just took the bait right here. There it is, there's the pike. It took the bait really well. This one is quite the eater, you know what I mean? I'll show you in practice how it works, and we'll also cover some theory, so that when you go to the pond or river, you'll be able to catch this beautiful predator. All we need is a regular fishing rod. It can be a float, maybe like mine. Roughly speaking, some kind of donk, a kind of throw-in, a bucket, with a pole. Well, and in principle, a little knowledge of where this predator might be. Because it can be in a pond or in a river, but you need to choose a place where it will be there in quantity. This must be either a pike trail or a place where it is parked. So, today I'm going to tell you everything. If you're interested, stick around. I hope there will be a lot of fish and a lot of useful information. It's best to catch pike on live bait early in the morning when they come out after a night of hunting, so to speak. And that's when it works best. To have breakfast, so to speak. And it works best in the morning. My setup for catching pike, the simplest one there is. This is a fishing rod. Well, the house of the Cossacks of the spirit. Yes, with a spinning reel. It's quite powerful. To the main line, I have a float made from a wine cork. Here it is. I would say the best float for pike. Then, a sliding weight, a swivel, and a 20-30 centimeter fluorocarbon leader. And a single one. Here's a hook. So basically, my gear is very, very simple. From my own experience, I want to say that pike bite best early in the morning, because the period when it rests is the longest at night. She feeds best in the morning, then she might eat a little during the day, and the evening bite can also be pretty good. So, early morning is exactly what we need for pike. In what places catch pike now? You can fish in open water, and you can also fish along the reeds. But what always catches my eye first are the spots where there's a concentration of fish. So, we approach the shore, for example, and see a lot of fry, some kind of bleak. For example, 5 meters or so, 10 meters along the shore from the reeds. And there's a food base here. Here, you'll usually find both perch and pike. And pike, it also hides in the reeds. This is her hiding spot. So, when fishing for pike, choosing the right spot is very important because, for example, a river or a pond can be huge, but you need to choose the right place. You can cast all the time right to the bottom, trying to reach deeper areas, and bites will be very rare, or you might not get any at all. But you need to choose the right place. You can throw it all the time right on the bottom, somewhere make the depth greater, and the bites will be very rare, or there will be none at all, and you can catch. You can often find 2 or 3 pikes right under the shore, even from one spot. So, let's take it right away, give us some bait. Let's take a live bait right away, a good one, no messing around. A size, a bit bigger than what we have. If there's active fish there, to provoke them to bite right away. Under the lower fin. And there. Now, let's measure the depth. The depth, somewhere around here. Well, let's set it like this. Well, that's a great lively bait. That's exactly what we need. Sometimes the pike can bite almost instantly. As soon as we cast, we have... Plus or minus, it happens right away. We've got a bite. So let's leave it for now on the bottom. And the main thing is to unwind the landing net. Let's not forget about that. Because the pike bites unexpectedly. And then we don't have time. We're running around thinking about how to get it out. We're just moving around. The landing net is ready, so now we just wait. I often feed the pike. Yes, I feed it with bait. Why am I doing this, guys? The thing is, a lot of small fish come to the bait, and even the most passive pike starts to become active. So, a few balls of good bait. We cast it there, roughly where we're fishing for pike, right under our float, in that spot. And a lot of small fish gather there. Perch comes in, and we can immediately see the schools of fish. And the pike is active, it always comes out, so it's worth feeding. Sometimes, it's worth it. What's interesting is that the bait fish finds the pike for us. He swims back and forth in a large radius, and he will find her. Absolutely. The most active pike will come out after it. That's for sure. It swims everywhere from shore to shore, looking for it on its own. That's why we always take some bait, and we mix it a little like this. We mix it, right? It won't hurt to have a little extra, I'll tell you, never. And we feed right there, where we're roughly fishing, in those spots. A little bit of dust. We do it there, we create a trail, both of us further away. And here we have the small fish. It will come to its senses soon, with good bait. I fished with it the whole season on real fish. There's a bite, it's a perch, we hook it, come here. Both went into a struggle. They're not big, just a little bit, and right away, the drag loosened. I've got it. And pull it here. I've got it. Just like that on the rod. Here it is. As I said, it's in the reeds, but it's not big at all, it bit. We can get it right away, without any pressure. Annette, I see by the way that she took it from me. This pike on the edge. We're going to grab it like this, here we go. And carefully we'll lift it right by the line, placing the rod here on the ledge. Here it is. She took it from the edge, a small one. This little one, you could say. Oh, and the hook even came off by itself, you see, of the sort. I just cast it, and there was a bite right away. Here's the chupacabra. Well, we're off to a good start. We've got our first fish. It's a small one. Here's a little pike. This one is possible. And release it. Let's go over there. Let it swim. It's calling for something much bigger. The big one is over there, right? Its relatives. There it is. The other way. The other way. Yeah, where are you going? It got away. It doesn't want to be photographed. We've put a new live bait on again. We take it and check the depth because the pike can knock the float a bit. So that everything is like it was before. And we keep fishing. Here. Yes. In general, we always observe the reservoir and keep an eye on the fry. Where there's a lot of fry jumping out, we immediately throw in the bait. So you'll get a bite there instantly too. Guaranteed. When fishing for pike with live bait, it's best to use weights. So, to make your bottom rod work, the bait should swim as close to the bottom as possible. About 20 centimeters off the bottom. Yes, at the same time, it shouldn't scrape the bottom or touch the weeds. What we have is that the pike usually stays close to the bottom, right? And if we let the bait swim on the surface, we won't get any bites. Therefore, it is necessary for it to float as low to the bottom as possible. And when I'm in places like these overgrown areas, I often keep the rod in my hands. I don't even lay it down. Sometimes you need to jiggle the bait a bit so it doesn't get snagged. Recast often. What hook should be used for fishing with live bait? Who uses a treble hook? Big or small? I use a big carp hook to reduce the chances of getting snagged. The pike is fine. Gets hooked if it swallows it? Losses happen quite rarely. I just had a frustrating loss with you. It was quite annoying. I probably rushed it. Didn't give her enough time to swallow it. I saw the fish come up and then suddenly it got hooked. I should have waited a bit longer, at least 7-10 seconds, to let her swallow it properly, and with a single hook. In places like these, where there are a lot of weeds, it gets snagged much less. Of course, we use the grass for our live bait because the hook has one hidden barb under the crucian carp, which means fewer snags. And when there's a bite, it hooks properly, while the crucian carp swims in circles, looking for fish well. The bite is right there. A bite. I'm waiting a bit to let out the line so it gets hooked. I'm checking everything and then we make a sharp hook set. And there is... Good one, guys. Nice little pike. I'm pulling with the drag. But that little rascal is heading straight into the reeds. I'm pulling her through all the weeds. Look at this. Here it is. You see how, through the weeds, It went right behind the reeds. And it hung on them. But now it will help me by itself. It's jumping, giving a show. Here, as always, there are a lot of vetoes.
But we have a helper.
Yes, as I told you, this right here is definitely a helper. Under the sucker, man. We're going to lift it up a bit now. On the rod's tip, I've got a good one. And let's throw it right away. Whoa, we missed it like that. I said let's throw it, but I didn't throw it. Come here. Both are on. I'm a little pike, it's doing well, it's really good. I saw the bite. Well, here it is, the pike. It's doing well, it took the bait nicely, it was fantastic, I just saw the bite. Well, here it is, the pike. It took the bait perfectly. Is this one so convenient? Yeah, how to put it. On the half of the net. Here's the hook clearly in her mouth. You can take a look. There it is. She took it from the edge. We hooked her. Hey there. It's a nice one. It's fine. Hold on tight, because it might jump. It's still alive. The hook is right on the edge. Single. It got in perfectly. Here's such a little one. Well, that's exactly what you need, I think.
So, what do you need to know about catching pike with live bait? That's what you need. To head out early in the morning or in the evening. It's autumn now, and this is the time for her feeding frenzy. She's going to be biting better now. Better than she did in the summer. Even better than in the spring. Right now, at New, she's just going to be gaining weight before winter starts. It's best to catch her near the shore. Right now, there aren't any big frosts and no ice. We're catching pike near the shore. I've tried catching her in the shallows. And in the deep spots. No, she goes there later when it's really cold. At the end of November, just before the first frosts, as soon as the ice starts to form. And when the first ice forms, that thin layer of ice, she's still near the reeds. Why is that? Because here, as I said, there's a large food base. Even at a depth of half a meter or a meter, pike are often found standing there. And this is the reeds, her hiding spot. Naturally, there are fry here, so you always look for the fry. If there's small fish, there are boils, that's when the pike is hunting. For fry, speeding in and hitting the small fish, sending them flying in a splash. Yes. So, you take the live bait right away, cast it out, and you'll get a bite. About the hooks, I told you that you can use both treble and double hooks of different sizes. If the shore is relatively clean, just reeds near the shore, you can use a bigger treble hook. No, I mean a single hook, like mine. Yeah, I had some misses today too. But the pike was being a bit picky today, because there's a huge wind, and the weather is just off. Well, it's not pike weather, but it's good pike weather when in the morning it's calm, maybe a frost, a bit of fog, something like that. That's the kind of weather for it. I want to share from my experience that feeding pike with bait works quite well. I feed the perch when I'm fishing with live bait. This brings good results. I started to work it over the pike and it also started to show results. Because the fry starts to get agitated, as I said, they begin to swirl in that spot where we fed them like a big school. And the pike gets interested and immediately comes closer. Yes, you can definitely fish without bait, but if you're fishing in one spot, throw in a couple of small balls of bait and cast out a crucian carp there. The fish immediately become active, all the small ones that are around, and if there's some commotion here, the predator immediately starts to turn its head. This is 100% proven. I also want to tell you about live bait. What's a good live bait for pike, in my opinion? Well, usually it's a crucian carp. You can still catch it. It's autumn, right now. It's very resilient, and it lasts for the whole fishing trip. You can bring it in both a bottle and a can. And for one crucian carp, you can make a lot of casts. It holds well on hooks, both single and treble, and withstands long casts and strikes from the currents. And he swims well. Not very fast, doesn't tangle the hook and always presses down. It doesn't rise to the top, so the sinker will sink it, which is on your rig. As for other fish, well, roach, probably, then rudd. But these are the fish that are very fast on hooks. Them, Even the fins are cut and the pike bites them well. Well, and then all the other fish, some perch, maybe something else, but that won't be so good. I even once caught pike on bleak. I caught a big bleak like this on a float rod, and I hit this bleak. You can catch it like with a throw rod, like with long range rods. You can also catch pike using float tackle, usually around 6 meters. So we're just walking along the shore to get by. As I told you, it's not necessary to fish far out. The pike can also stand on the edge near the kamish, because that's where it hides. This is where it is instead of citrus. So guys, try the main thing: leashes, and make the right equipment like I do, floats. And that's it. It often happens that you come and just don't catch anything. Well, it just doesn't happen. It's just one of those days. It doesn't mean there aren't any. Although, yeah, you know that in this river, in this pond, there are plenty of pike, but they're just not biting. It's just one of those days, no bites at all. Make sure to come back next time, in 2 to 3 days or in a week, and you'll definitely get a bite. I'm telling you this 100%.
We're slowly covering the area. The entire perimeter. Fish soup. I just got another one right here. It's a nice catch. That's a good one too. It's okay, Genka is like that. It got caught in the weeds a bit. Honestly, I was trying to pull it out along with the weeds. And in the landing net. And right away. Let's take the watch here. And very carefully, just right at the edge. Come here, little one, now please. Come here, you got caught, my dear. What a beauty. You look at her. You've tangled everything up that you could. Just like that on the island. While fishing, maybe you'll have up to 5 bites. Well, usually during a fishing trip, I get about 5, maybe up to a maximum of 10 pike bites. So you have to know that you're going to come in the morning and you're going to have some fish there. You will catch empty bites. It just happens that there are losses, and on average there are about 5 to 10 bites. If there are more than 5, this, in my opinion, is already good. It was a fishing trip with live bait. There were a lot of pike biting, because she usually comes out early in the morning. In the evening they don't bite as much. And 5 pikes. If she saw your live bait and was biting, that's pretty good. Out of 5 you can usually land 2 or 3, for sure. Another pike. It's so small. Little one. You can let go of such a little one. Let's go. Swim road. Row. So, our task now is to catch her. Let's take the live bait. Let's try to go all in now and hook a wild boar. And let's try to catch a big one. Maybe we have her. She'll come for it. You know, any pike should bite on a big crucian carp like that. Small, big. How can you pass up such a breakfast? Past yourself, yeah. Well, no way. Are you serious? I'm glad. He might get everything mixed up, but it's okay. Let's see how things will go. Let it work. Little one. I see it swimming like crazy. Everywhere there are crucian carp. Just wow, as they say. And in such moments you can... I even wanted to tell you not to turn off the camera. Oh, just wait right away. If she's nearby, she'll bite right away. She often does that. Especially right after she gets off, yeah. And sometimes she takes it. Once again, I've mentioned this more than once. There are moments like that. You see, there was a cheeks exit there. Here we are, living it up and really getting energized, just pulling it a bit. We gave it a little tug, and it started swimming right away. We pulled it a little, closer like this, and it started to float. Sometimes you need to energize it with the rod, give it a little tug. There are even moments when the pike isn't biting, just hanging around your bait. And then you give it a little tug with the rod, and bam, you get a bite right away. That happens a lot too.
Alright guys, we have a bite. Let's set the hook.
Got it!
Ah, the pike missed it. It couldn't catch the big crucian carp. It just hit the head, unfortunately. Well, it was clearly a small one. So that was an interesting video. We did it! I hope you learned something new. And it will be easier for you to catch pike. But I think I did pretty well today. There were some nice pikes that you could keep. There were, of course, some losses and break-offs, and small fish. So, it's quite interesting.